Fox Sports.
We are Black Horse. We are Sun Sports.
Last night, Hideki Matsui's home run could not breathe enough fire into the Rays offense. Today, Joe Madden looks to work a little midday magic and avoid a sweep to the White Sox. The Rays and the Pale Hose next on Sun Sports. We welcome you to Tropicana Field this afternoon, the wrap-up game of this series. Game 3 between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Chicago White Sox. This is only the second day since 1994, when the three-division plan was instituted in baseball, that all three teams in the American League East are over 500, and look how bunched up they are. The Rays and the Orioles tied 2.5 up in the American League's Eastern Division. Hi again, everyone, with Brian Anderson. I'm Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. We'll be hearing from Todd Callis throughout the afternoon as well. Well, you just couldn't get much closer than this. Rays looking for a win against the White Sox, and they're going to send Alex Cobb to the hill. He's been very good. It seems every time we see him pitch, come up from the minor leagues, he's good.
He is, and Alex Cobb's one of those guys, you don't even think of him as a guy that's called up from the minor leagues. He's a guy that fits right in, throws the ball very well. His first start against the Atlanta Braves, he came out obviously a little bit nervous, that first big league start of the season, but he settled in through a great ball game, going 7 strong innings. He had the 6 strikeouts, just gave up the 2 runs, and then in his last start against the Boston Red Sox, he's up there back in the city that he was born in. He was able to pitch around 4 walks, a gutty performance, picking up another win. You see his numbers. He'll be looking to salvage the series today.
And today's pitching matchup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Alex Cobb looking for his 3rd win, 2-0, and Jose Quintana, a left-hander on the hill for the White Sox. He's made 2 appearances, both against Cleveland. 1 start and 1 time out of the bullpen. He is 1-0 with a 154 earned run mark. Well, last night, Hideki Matsui made his Rays debut. He made his presence felt. Todd Callis will have a closer look at Matsui following this.
games into the season, the Rays still in first place, tied with the Baltimore Orioles. Very tight in the AL East, as Dwayne mentioned, all 5 teams within 3.5 games of each other. And yesterday was the debut of one Hideki Matsui, his first day as a Tampa Bay Ray. And here's a reflection of what happened. Second at bat, he hit one off Phil Umber on the first pitch he saw of that AB, deep into the seats in right field. That gave the Rays a 2-0 lead. Unfortunately, the Rays would not score any more runs, but afterwards, we caught up with Hideki through his interpreter Roger about an assessment of his first night as a Ray.
内容は全体的にね、良かったと思うし、ね、体調的にもね、問題ないしね、今後ね、いい形でね、次にまたつなげたいなと思うんだけどね。
I think overall, I think everything was pretty good from my standpoint. Physically, I feel fine too, and so hopefully I can just keep building from here.
So he gets to enjoy a website Wednesday along with the rest of you. You can ask the Rays at Fox.com. That's your email address, or tweet at SunSportsRays and hashtag it Ask the Rays. Please keep the questions in English. We do not have a translator at our disposal. These guys are ready for action today. Pop culture is at the forefront as the Rays take on the White Sox in 2 minutes and 42 seconds. We're ready for the final game of this 3-game series. Then a off day tomorrow before the Baltimore Orioles come in town for the battle for first place in the East. Time for baseball right around the corner. Enjoy, everyone.
Ball is brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today for great deals on the amazing lineup of Toyota vehicles. Toyota, moving forward. By AT, the nation's largest 4G network. AT, rethink possible. And by Tires Plus. The plus is in everything we do. Inside Tropicana Field, the Rays and the White Sox go at it again this afternoon. Chicago taking the first 2 games by scores of 2-1 and 7-2. First pitch of this game presented by Pinch a Penny, and a strike is called on Alejandro Diaz. He's hitting .284. The ground ball to the right side. That's Sean Rodriguez handles that flawlessly. 2 pitches, 1 out. We'll take a look at the rest of the lineup for the Chicago White Sox. Gordon Beckham and then Adam Dunn. Paul Konerko, the DH. Alex Rios in right field and A.J. Brzezinski catching. In left field, hitting 7th is Diane Viciato. Alexi Ramirez, the shortstop, and Orlando Hudson at third base. And the pitch to Beckham is in there for a strike. Beckham starts the afternoon at 2:24. Cobb throws him another strike, so a strike thrower to start this game. Alex Cobb.
4 pitches, 4 strikes, and in the good zone. That last start against Boston, they had a lot of pitches that were elevated.
Chopper foul outside of third, holds the count at 2 strikes.
Yeah, he had said that his changeup, he was kind of getting underneath it. He didn't have that good downward action, that little split change that he has. That usually has very good bite down in the zone. He was kind of getting underneath that pitch. It was hanging up, staying elevated, and thought it was a mechanical issue, maybe getting a little ahead of himself mechanically. Looks like the adjustment's been made here in the early going.
Well, until then.
Until that, well, yeah, and that's exactly what the pitch was. That was the changeup. He threw a very good one to Diaza to get the ground ball. You see the grip. This ball just gets away from him.
So Beckham hit by a pitch.
You know, that's one of those pitches, especially when you're going to split the grip and you're going to get that finger or that ball tucked back in those fingers. You really got to stay on top of that because you don't have a very good hold on that baseball anyway.
Adam Dunn, snap throw down to first, and Beckham is back in. The pitch to Dunn inside. This is exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah, that wrist gets a little forward. You're not able to get on top of that ball, and it just squirts out.
There's a strike. Curveball that time from Alex Cobb. To first, and again Beckham is back in. Alex Cobb facing the White Sox for the very first time. Well, the Rays hang on to their lead, tied in the East with Baltimore. The White Sox have moved into first in the Central Division. There's a strike. They hold a half-game lead on the strength of their 7-game winning streak under rookie manager Robin Ventura. Cleveland a half back and Detroit 4.5 out. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Oh, Alex needs to start working that ball back down into the zone. That's where he got into a little bit of trouble in the game up in Boston, but he did a nice job in that particular game of making pitches when he needed to. Put himself into some tight spots. There you go.
And Dunn swings and misses out in front. Changeup gets the big Chicago slugger. First strikeout for Cobb.
Well, there you go. It makes the adjustment, stays on top, lets that ball do its thing, keeps it on the outer half, down in the zone. Nice pitch, desired result.
Now Paul Konerko. Konerko 1 of 8 for the series. Still hitting .386. Leading the league in that department. He was 0 for 4 last night. So his 14-game hitting streak came to an end. 1 ball, no strikes the count. 2-0 count. Chicago with 10 games under their belts against the East. They've gone 4-6 against the American League East. We saw in the Open how close the division is with everybody over 500. The strike on the outer edge. 2-1. In fact, it's possible. Heard some talk today about whether the wild card team could come out of the East, and that might be an issue simply because the East is so good. Someone said, well, look, the East, the wild card might not even come out of that. Well, because it's so good and they're going to play each other all the time, they'll knock each other off, and if it stays this bunched, that could be a concern because the East could be still the dominant division, not win as many games.
Well, compare those two records right now in the Central with the Indians and the White Sox compared to the Orioles and the Rays. Very similar.
And a little tap foul.
And you get a couple of these teams in the weaker divisions that start to separate themselves, and the Orioles, Rays, Red Sox, Yankees, Blue Jays just continually hammer on each other.
Well, take a look at this
There
right
you go.
here. The Rays and the Orioles in the wild card would have to battle it. One of those teams would be the wild card, depending on a number of factors. But look at all that. Cleveland,
and that's not
New York, Toronto.
Chicago's not even in there.
Yeah,
they're ahead of Cleveland.
Ground ball, and that's going to skip through past Sutton and Johnson. And Beckham stops at second as Konerko reaches. Well, that's perhaps emblematic of the frustration the Rays have gone through right here.
Yep, gets by Sutton, and then right there. At that point, Elliott Johnson looks like he was assuming that Sutton was going to come up with it, and when it got by him, it caught him by surprise. Was not ready for that.
Well, it's ruled a base hit. The ball got by Sutton and through Johnson. And Cobb, who thought he might be out of the inning, now is going to have to face Alex Rios with 2 men on. And the first pitch is a strike. Well, that's a tough break for Cobb.
Sure is.
But when you're struggling, and the way the Rays have played defense this year, it has been a struggle. Hot shot to third. That skips by Sutton. Here comes Beckham to the plate. He will score. White Sox take advantage and break out in front 1-0. Beckham scores from second. Konerko stopped at second as Rios, with the base hit, drives in the run.
Well, that's exactly what happens. A play that would have been a tough play for Sutton previously, but gets by Elliott Johnson, and all of a sudden another opportunity, and Rios hammers this ball that stayed up in the zone, and he's able to shoot it by Sutton out into left field, and the White Sox strike first.
25th run batted in for Rios. And the way this team is swinging the bat right now collectively, you don't want to give them any extra hitters and extra outs. Ground ball. Pena takes care of this, and the toss to Cobb covering the bag retires the side. A run scores. We go to the bottom of the first. 1-0 Chicago. Men's lineup has Carlos Pena leading off, then B.J. Upton and Matt Joyce. Ben Zobrist, Luke Scott, and Sean Rodriguez down the middle. Drew Sutton at third. Jose Molina behind the plate. Elliott Johnson, the shortstop, batting ninth.
Well, taking the mound this afternoon for the Chicago White Sox is left-hander Jose Quintana. See what he did in his start against the Cleveland Indians. Had actually faced the Indians earlier, coming out of the bullpen through 5 1/3 very good innings, and then gets a start against them, goes 6 innings, gives up just the 2 earned runs. He's going to keep it pretty simple with the lefties. Fastball, slider, curveball. Will mix in the changeup against the right-handers.
23-year-old left-hander out of Colombia. He was originally signed by the Mets back in 06. They released him in 07. There's Carlos Pena, and the first pitch is down. 1 ball, no strikes. There's a strike on the inside part of the plate. 1-1. Quintana delivers. This one is down. 2-1. Quintana here in the first 3 delivery shows a little hitch in his getty up here in the delivery. Watch. He'll take a little time between pitches. And there's a strike. There should be some music to that delivery.
A little pause to gather. Probably used as a mechanism to keep yourself from rushing through your delivery. Right there, now you kick up, gather, and go.
The pitch is down. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
It's so funny how a lot of those little quirks like that come out of the fact that maybe at one point he was rocking back and then kicking up, and motion gets a little bit out of whack. You start flowing towards home plate a little bit too soon, so you put the little pause in to gather yourself.
The fly ball lifted into center field. Alejandro Diaza is there to make the catch.
Let's take a look at the White Sox defense as it lines up this afternoon. In the outfield, left to right, Dion Viciedo, Alejandro Diaza, and Alex Rios. Across the infield, third to first, Orlando Hudson, Alexi Ramirez, Gordon Beckham, and Adam Dunn. A.J. Pierzynski will be behind the plate.
B.J. Upton is at the plate right now, hitting .290 on the year. He had a base hit his first time up last night and takes a strike.
And it may be natural, but it looks like Quintana has a little bit of cut action on that fastball. 89-90, but a little bit of that movement.
Well, in the 2 outings he had against Cleveland, he threw a lot of fastballs, and that might be one of the reasons he could get away with being so heavy on the fastball.
Without being overpowering, absolutely.
A ball and 2 strikes.
And you would figure, too, when you face a team back-to-back and, over 12 innings against them, and you're sitting right up there, 75+% fastballs on everything.
BJ's out on strikes.
There's got to be a certain amount of deception to it. Maybe some late movement. See right here. That looked like a true cutter right there. That caught a lot of plate. BJ just pulled off of it.
Two up, 2 down. That'll be Matt Joyce. Fouls it. Fastball. That went up a bit. Strike 1.
And you want to talk about a quick riser. Jose Quintana last year was with the Tampa Yankees. Across the bridge.
That's correct.
Big leagues now.
The pitch is popped up left side. Ramirez backing out from shortstop, and it's a 1-2-3 first. Ball game heads into the second. 1-0 Chicago. High definition brought to you by H.H. Gregg. Alex Cobb back to the hill. Touch for a run in the first inning. So it's 1-0 Chicago. He'll face the bottom three of the order, starting with Dayan Viciedo. Viciedo, then Ramirez and Hudson. Cobb all set. Pitch down, a fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. That one missed. 2-0.
Let's take a look at our scouting report brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida on Dayan Viciedo. Red hot. This guy, 4 home runs in his last 6 games. And just get it close. He will swing at everything. So you want to get up there, get ahead of him, and then don't go 3-0. That's not easy to do, get with him.
And he takes a strike. And you know it's tough for him to take a 3-0 pitch.
They got to give him the sign.
Yep.
Look down at third. Joe McEwing.
3-1. And there's a strike on the outside part of the plate. How about this? 5 pitches in, he hasn't swung the bat.
Well, you pay no mind to the scouting report. We've just been exposed.
Well, as soon as you make the point of what the history tells you, he does exactly the opposite. And he shoots this one up the middle. He's been doing a lot of that lately. Has himself a base hit to start the second. So has the Chicago lineup as a unit. Well, they've been swinging a very hot bat.
Now there's that split change. That ball kind of works its way back, middle, down, and in. And Viciedo with 2 strikes just punches it right back up the middle.
Now Alexei Ramirez. White Sox had 3 base runners in the first, scoring a run. Hot shot past Sutton. down toward the left field corner. Cieto's hitting third, and McEwing will hold him up right there. It's a double for Ramirez, and the White Sox are threatening again. They have kept the pressure on throughout this series and over the last couple of weeks.
Now, this fastball, and we talk about Alexi Ramirez likes that ball down. See how he's able to get that full extension. And I'm going to tell you something, Darren Sutton, you're going to have to get him into some goalie gear, because he has faced already here in the early going some hot shots that have gotten by him, and the White Sox here with another great opportunity.
Here's Orlando Hudson. Pitch down and in. 1 ball, no strikes. So a big threat already here for the White Sox. Two and 0. White Sox have won 7 in a row and 11 out of 12. And they've been hot on the road. They've won 8 out of their last 9 road games. There's a strike. 2 and 1. Up a bit. Now it's a 3-ball, 1 strike count. Orlando Hudson started 8 games in a row now at third base. It's the first time he's played anything in the major leagues other than second, and he draws the walk to load the bases. So trouble in the second is brewing, and Jim Hickey's going to head to the mound to have a little conversation with Alex Cobb.
Yeah, and what really hurts is the fact that it was the bottom of the order that's done it. 7, 8, 9 bases loaded. You're wrapping right around to the top of the order already with the bases juiced. Not exactly how you wanted to start this ball game off.
Cleveland has taken a 3-2 lead on Kansas City. Last report, the top of the 4th. Casey Kochman has driven in a run with a base hit. Here we're in the top of the 2nd inning. Bases loaded, nobody out. Alejandro Diaza. Not only is he getting on base out of the leadoff spot, but he's hitting over 300 with runners in scoring position. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, he trusts his hands. I mean, he's very close to the plate, sticks his head right out over there, gets a good look at the pitch.
And he fouls it. 1-1. We saw him wait and wait on pitches in the first couple games of this series. And seeing a few more pitches per plate appearance than the major league average.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what you'd like to see out of your leadoff hitter.
And you know, the American League, particularly with that number 9 guy sometimes being a second leadoff guy, good to have somebody who can drive in a run, and Diaza has shown all the signs of doing that. 1-2 the count. Two and 2, a fastball up and in a bit.
You would love to see Alex Cobb go back down in the zone here, get a ground ball, try to turn a double play. You're going to have to hurry. You would gladly take that in this situation.
And down to third. Sutton's going to come to the plate out there. So they get the force. Cieto is forced. Drew Sutton to Jose Molina.
Well, you'll take that too. Cut that leadoff run at the plate. That ball Piazza stays down on it, wants to put it in play, and he hits it right to Drew. Drew with a nice backhand and Drew with a nice throw.
So the bases are still loaded with one out now. And here's Beckham. Fouls it out of play down the right side. Now you get the double play ball and you get out of the inning.
That's right. A little easier to try to double up Beckham than it would be Diaza. He will hit you a ground ball. Alex Cobb has that good, when he keeps the fastball down in the zone, it has good late life on it. And of course that split. Couple options.
And a foul lifted up the right side and out of play. So it's a 2-strike count. Single, double, and a walk to load the bases. Fielder's choice with the force at the plate. Leaves the bases loaded with one out.
And this is another one of those counts that you get into. Bases loaded 0-2. Now you can go for that strikeout. Give him the good strikeout pitch. Trust Jose Molina to be able to block anything down. And if he does put it in play, good chance it's on the ground.
And a cut and a miss. He's out on strikes. Fastball got him. So Alex Cobb has come back now to retire 2 after the bases had been loaded with nobody out.
Well, there you go. Fastball away. 0-2. Try to put him away. He gets the swing and a miss. And now all you're worried about is the hitter.
And look at who it is. Adam Dunn, who has been the big power man, 4th in the league in runs batted in. In the first pitch, a fastball foul back. He took him to 2-2 in the first and threw him a good changeup to strike him out.
When you would think that as long as Alex Cobb is in there, that split is going to play a heavy role, especially when he's ahead.
And you would think against this lineup, they have some power and some guys who love to swing the bat. And there is strike 2. Took the off-speed pitch. 0-2 the count to Dunn. Two delivery. Fastball inside off the plate. 1-2.
That's okay. So that you're way up in the count, that fastball in there, make him aware of it, and then you can go right back away with the split.
1-2 delivery. Down and in.
Well, that was the game plan.
Well, he's 2-2 with him. He could double up on that pitch.
Why not?
Just make it a good one. And a foul ball on the check swing. Came in with the fastball. It's hard for a hitter to look for any pitch, but you got the idea that Dunn would not have been surprised if he'd gotten the changeup. That fastball in, and he
ate him up.
Just got a little foul ball out of that. Two-two, and a fly ball lifted into center. Had him reaching on the changeup, and BJ's there to catch it. Cobb gets out of the bases loaded. Nobody out. Jam. No runs crossing the plate. It's 1-0 Chicago.
job to keep it to just a 1-run lead for the White Sox. And there's his counterpart, Jose Quintana. And you see the fingers off the edge of the ball. That is the cutter. This ball actually stays out over the plate, but you see exactly how it's thrown. That was a great camera shot.
First pitch to Ben Zobrist is wide.
You throw it just like a fastball, fingers off center, and you want that ball just to cut a few inches.
Pitch a strike to Ben, Zobrist, Scott, and then Rodriguez. There's the Rays. Get their first look at Jose Quintana. 2-1.
And you see right there was a ball that had movement away from Ben, so he'll cut it and he'll sink it away.
And a swing and a foul ball. So when you hear that he's loaded up on the fastball, well, all of those are fastballs.
That's right.
A cut fastball, you can sink the ball away. That's a fastball. Just different variations of the fastball. So he's not standing out there throwing a straight pitch most of the time. He's got some cut to it, and a little running action, pop up foul, and Adam Dunn, the first baseman, takes care of it. And so you see him face the Indians in back-to-back performances over an extended period with some pretty good numbers. You go, well, how did he do that? Well, that's how. He's got different looks off that fastball.
That's it. All of them between 86, 87, and 90. You know, it's going to cut in on you, sink away. He's going to run it on your hands. He's going to backdoor it. Just continually move it around. Drop an occasional changeup and a breaking ball.
And Luke Scott takes the pitch down. 1 ball, no strikes.
That just goes to show you don't have to be overpowering. Have a pretty good idea and move the ball around the zone. Different looks.
Fly ball hit deep the other way. All the way back to the wall and gone. An opposite field home run by Luke Scott. His 9th of the year, and this game is tied. So Luke Scott took one of those pitches the other way and hit it out.
Well, that's what Luke Scott's doing right now, is he's sitting back and letting that ball travel, trusting himself, trusting his hands, and watch the extension he gets. This ball just jumps off the bat, and I'm telling you, when it left the bat, you knew it was gone. You don't say that very often with a left-handed hitter going to left center field. But we know he can do it, and he did it again.
So Luke Scott belts one out of here, and this game is tied. Sean Rodriguez. Sean takes a strike. One and one. The Rays get to the young lefty. First home run he's given up. Two and one. Kansas City has taken a 4-3 lead in the 4th inning at Cleveland. The Rays have tied this game. Foul back. 2-2. Ground ball to third. Hudson with the pickup. And his throw to first in time. And Luke belting his first home run in a little over a week. And Ron Porterfield getting maybe some credit for that.
Could have gone behind the ear. They like that too.
Here's Drew Sutton. And Sutton shortens on the bat, takes the pitch for a ball. Now 2-0. Oh, popper. Beckham out from second base now. Backpedals and makes the grab. That'll retire the Rays, but the home run by Luke Scott, an opposite field shot, ties this game at 1-2.
Opposite field home run. It is a website Wednesday. You can ask Dwayne and BA questions by either going on Twitter at SunSportsRays, hashtag it AskTheRays, or email us at AskTheRays@Fox.com. There you go, right below me. You can find your two addresses. Our first one comes from Fabio in Italy. That's not made up. I promise that's true. He's watching in Italy. Wants to know about Matt Moore and if you see some good, encouraging signs based on his last few starts, guys.
Here's Paul Konerko leading off, and he takes a curveball. First pitch from Alex Cobb, strike one. How about that? Reaching all the way to Italy.
Yeah, well, our offensive is kind of ground to a halt. Well, this is the first time.
Well, we haven't pursued it like we did and promote that. So if we do that a little bit,
we need to.
We're going to start to hear from more of the Rays fans in Europe and around the world. The Netherlands has a good start already, as we know, and Sweden and England, and now Italy.
Nice.
We appreciate Fabio's interest in the Rays and our telecast. 1 ball and 2 strikes. See, this is a day game, so this is nice evening viewing in Italy. So they'll watch the game, go out and have a little meal after the game, late night. And Konerko is out on strikes. He tried to check on the changeup. Well, the question about Matt Moore, and I'll tell you what we've seen out of him has been very good. His only problem his last outing is that he got hooked up against Chris Sale, who was so good.
Yeah, he just pitched on the wrong day, but he was outstanding. And, you know, it's been an up and down beginning here for Matt Moore, inconsistent with the release point and mechanically just a little bit off. But boy, oh boy, did he show a lot. I mean, forget about us, to himself, teammates, those two gentlemen right there. He went out, got locked in a pitcher's duel, and was great. 10 strikeouts in 7 innings. He moved the ball around. He was overpowering at times, had a good changeup. At other times, that is what we were all spoiled with at the end of last year when Matt Moore came up and kind of blew everybody away, goes in and makes an unbelievable start in Game 1 of the playoffs. That's who showed up last time out, and I'm sure he's excited.
The liner headed for the corner. One hops the low wall out there, bounce back to Joyce, and Rios is in with a double. Well, a couple of things I think on Moore, what this shows. Number one, that he's human, that he struggled early, and that it's not that easy. Number two, Rios picks up his 9th double. But we saw signs of that 3 starts ago, the way he finished against the Red Sox. And then at the start against the Blue Jays, he pitched well, really threw the ball well for 4 innings and ran into that 5th inning trouble. And the concern was how he would come back from that. Well, mentally, he came back just fine. And physically, he picked up where he left off, and the way he closed the Red Sox game and the way he started the Blue Jays game. And now Pierzynski's hit by a pitch. Pierzynski hit by the pitch on the first delivery, and might make note of that as a result of Pierzynski sliding high and hard, and you might say dirty, with Zobrist around the bag.
Watch his left leg. He goes right in. I mean, this could have been, that's how guys tear up their ankles. Pierzynski got him pretty good, and there was absolutely no doubt on that pitch.
So runners at first and second. That follows the double by Rios. Viciedo, who singled his first time. And the pitch is a strike on the outside part of the plate. Oh, 1 the count. And a little soft looper into short right. Zobrist charges. The throw through to third as the run scores. Rio scores. Pierzynski winds up at third. Viciedo didn't hit it hard, but he gets the job done and drives in the go-ahead run.
Just got that ball, got in on him, but he was able to keep his hands inside of it and get enough. Just hit it right there. That ball actually just kind of sliced off the bat. He goes down to get it, and it just squirts out into right field.
And the first pitch to Ramirez, he lifts it into right. Zobrist will make the catch. Pierzynski's going to try to score, and the throw is not in time, just short. And Pierzynski scores on the sacrifice fly to right. Viciedo moves into second base, and that's going to make it 3-1.
Well, what happened there is the throw out there by Ben Zobrist is a little bit up the first base line, and Pierzynski slides right to the front edge of home plate. Molina's going to dive for him. He goes right to the front edge and pops up, and he was able to get in there before the tag. Watch this. There you go.
So now here's Hudson as the White Sox score 2 quick runs in the third. 1 strike to count to Hudson. A strike on the inside part of the plate. 0-2. Pitch close. Hudson pulls away from it. And a broken bat, foul ball. Boy, the barrel into the bat by the mound. As the ball wound up fouled in front of the Chicago dugout.
Well, they're just going to be able to, take that bat and further the study. It's great. Just always the never-ending, just continually working towards a resolution. There you go.
So
that's safe.
Mark that. Put it away. It's a bigger sampling. Ground ball back to the hill. And Cobb with the throw to first. Retires the side. White Sox scored 2. 3-1 Chicago.
Third inning on this Web Wednesday, guys. You ask and you shall receive. Tom and also Carol have chimed in from England. Chad, a U.S. soldier in Germany, also Hero in Germany, have chimed in. Andrew in Wales, Sean in Scotland all say hi from overseas. But our question is from Grant right here in the U.S. What percentage of leadoff runners come around to score? You can email us at AskTheRays@Fox.com or tweet your question to @SunSportsRays. Hashtag AskTheRays, guys.
All right, thank you very much. And here's the first pitch to Jose Molina. That's a strike. Day games here, great evening viewing in Europe, throughout the world, but in Europe. And so we appreciate the Rays following over there.
Yes, we do.
So we've got England, Wales, Scotland, Germany. We know we have Italy. We know the Netherlands.
How about that?
Yep.
It's outstanding. And they heed the call.
Yeah.
They just...
Loyal Rays fans.
Phenomenal.
1-2 the count to Jose Molina. And the question about getting the leadoff man on. And there's a popper up the right side. Dunn chases it, but it's out of his reach. The count is still 1-2. But the leadoff man, doesn't make any difference, a single or a walk. He's at the same place with nobody out. And it's interesting to note there are charts about that you can track, whether it's a single, double, or triple. But if you put a guy at first base with no outs, it's roughly 17% of the time he'll score. Roughly speaking, if you round it off. Ground ball down to first. Dunn's going to make the play unassisted. If you get a leadoff double, he scores about a third of the time, 33%. And a leadoff triple will be a little over half, say 53%, somewhere in there. So you go from about 17% to 33%. And then 53 with nobody out. Here's Elliott Johnson. There's a strike. There are other studies on that, we understand. Let me see. Leadoff hitter who starts at first base with nobody out. 38%. Well, there you go. Let's see. Ours is what? 30. Ours is 34.
And then there's the breakdown by single, walk, hit by pitch.
You know, there actually is a difference, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
Statistically speaking, between singles and walks, and that's one that somebody else is going to have to figure out. Here's Johnson hustling his way down to first, and it's just out. Thrown out by Hudson. Hudson's played a great third base. How about this? We're just checking some of the latest totals tabulated on if you start an inning on a single. They score 37.69% of the time. And if you start an inning on a walk, it's 37.98% of the time. Figure that one.
No thanks.
Well, it might imply that the pitcher on the mound has a little less command and control than a guy who gives up a single, and a guy in that situation might then be more prone to give up that fraction more of a run. How about that?
The deductive reasoning that you just threw at us, or
well, no, the difference here? Yeah, the difference.
I like the idea you have behind it.
There's a little tap foul. They even break it down. How about this? Hit by pitch. It's even higher if a guy's hit by a pitch. 38.77.
From walking?
Yeah.
Less command.
There you go. See?
I just wasn't out of the zone. I was in your back.
Yep. And if you're going to put a guy on base and have the best chance of him not scoring to start an inning, catcher's interference. Swing and a miss by Carlos Pena, and it's 1-2. So how about that? Of course, the sample's not going to be as big with catcher's interference, so there's greater room for error there. And maybe if you had as many catcher's interference calls as you had singles, it would equal out. That has to do with the size of the study. So you're in the neighborhood of 37% or so. You're pretty safe there. Put a guy at first with nobody out. 37%. Ground ball to the right side. Beckham, the pitcher's going to have to cover. Quintana gets his foot on the bag to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the fourth, 3-1. Sox lead the Rays. Time for our AT&T trivia question. What White Sox player had his jersey retired 12 years before he finished his playing career?
Another top-end question.
I mean, right, the guy's in the truck, right on it again.
I mean, day game after a night game, too.
Mm-hmm.
Those are usually when it's like, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? I mean, it's one of those type games. TB1 vanilla, TB2 chocolate. You know, then they may go like TB3, you know, swirl. They don't even give you another one.
One and one to count. And a bunt attempt, third base side. Sutton bare hands, and the throw not going to be in time. Pena with the stretch toward the outfield to take the peg, and Diaz beats the play in. A bunt single for the Chicago center fielder. We've seen him do a little bit of everything.
I'm going to tell you what a nice little player here Diaz is. Sutton makes that throw going away. Boy, that was close, too. That call could have gone just about. That was very close. And I'll tell you what, you talked about his ability to drive the ball from gap to gap, occasional power, stays in there, hits the ball the other way. Now he bunts, pretty good speed.
1-0 the count to Gordon Beckham. So a leadoff bunt.
And he becomes a threat here against Alex Cobb coming into this. His two starts, teams were 3 out of 3 stealing bags off of him. So they want to exploit that, and Diaz has the team lead for the White Sox.
The pitch is wide, 2-0. So with the leadoff man on right now on that bunt single, it's a single. So here he is, a 37.69% chance of scoring. And that goes back to the pool from 1952, that study, right?
Mm-hmm.
There you are.
1952 through 2009. The study was done in 2010, but was not included that year.
Just to make sure.
That's it.
So that we're on the up and up. This pitch driven deep to right. This is Zobrist making the catch in the corner. Back to tag, but Diaz hangs on at first. Beckham gave that a ride. In this 3-1 game, a runner at first with one out. Hitting the road. Take the Rays with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.TV today to see every Rays out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit RaysBaseball.com to order and get more details. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. There's Adam Dunn swinging and missing. Strike one. Down is struck out, hit a fly ball to center. Rays have been out hit today, 7-1, down by 2. There's a strike, 0-2. Cleveland now trailing Kansas City. That's a 5-3 game. Kansas City at Cleveland. The Royals on top in the top of the 6th inning. One ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss with a runner going. Throw down is not in time. That's a stolen base. And with third base uncovered, Cobb was on his way to cover third just in case, as Dunn strikes out and Diaz steals second.
You see a nice finish on that pitch, and Jose Molina actually a nice job with the backhanded scoop up and throw. That's about as good as you could have done it. Diaz was going to have that beat no matter what.
It's his 10th stolen base of the year. Well, here's Paul Konerko. He fouls it back. That's a strike. Well, Konerko, who's been as good as any hitter going in fast, he still leads the league, hitting .408 against right-handed pitching in this series. He's 2 for 10. The Rays have struck him out 6 times. He's hit into 2 double plays, and he has 2 base hits.
And, you know, I wonder with the 6 strikeouts, how many on changeups? Because I know Shields got him at least 3 times. Cobb got him on a changeup. That has been the pitch.
Struck out on a changeup against Matt Moore in the first inning, and a curveball in the 6th. Out front, changeup, 0-2.
I'll tell you, he's faced some good ones. Matt Moore, we know, we talk about his fastball all the time, but he's got a pretty good changeup. James Shields, enough said. Alex Cobb, finish you off with that split change.
Pitch inside, and it's 1-2. Line drive caught by Drew Sutton down in third. They leave the man at second. B.J. Upton's going to open the bottom of the 4th. Rays trail by 2, 3-1. Jose Quintana, 3-1 contest here. B.J. Upton leads it off, and the first pitch is fouled up the right side, out of play for a strike. Cut and a foul ball back off a fastball, puts Upton down in the count, 0-2. Quintana originally signed with the New York Mets. This pitch is down, 1 ball, 2 strikes. That was in April of 06. He was on the suspended list for a time, and then the Yankees signed him in March of '08. He pitched in their minor league system. Strikes out Upton here. And the White Sox signed him last November, and here he is pitching in the big leagues. Let's get the answer to our AT&T trivia question. Which White Sox player had his jersey retired 12 years before he finished his playing career? Well, that would be the guy now coaching first base for them, Harold Reynolds, had his jersey retired, or Harold Baines, who had his jersey retired in 1989 when he was traded to Texas. He retired after the 2001 season back with the White Sox. So Harold Baines had his jersey retired in 1989 and then played until '01 when he retired with the White Sox. Matt Joyce, and a ground ball to the right side for Beckham. He throws him out. 2 up, 2 down, a strikeout and a ground out. Ben Zobrist. Zobrist fouled out to the first baseman, Dunn. And that pitch behind him, and now Quintana is gone. Well, he's ejected. The ball behind Zobrist, and boy, you talk about dangerous. That is dangerous.
No question, that was the answer for hitting Pierzynski. And you're going after Ben Zobrist now, who was, incidentally enough, the player out there that Pierzynski spiked.
Well, and the nature of that attempt.
Oh, that's just aim and fire. And you can see Ben like, you're kidding me, right?
I mean, there was no hesitation by Mark Wegner on that ejection. Well, Pierzynski with the slide earlier in the series on Zobrist, then he's hit by a pitch, and boy, that pitch, just no question. And Robin Ventura out there taking a little walk to cool off himself. So we're going to get a new pitcher here with Quintana ejected from this game. We'll be back in just a moment. by Checkers, Feast On, and by your local Southern Ford dealers. Well, there was no question. Mark Wegner right away, ejection city here, and Jose Quintana ejected, and with that, Robin Ventura, the manager. So Quintana is ejected, and Ventura is gone. And this is what started all of this in last night's game.
Here it is, force play at second base. Watch how late, and that's a straight spike job. He flipped himself, but the left leg right into Ben Zobrist's ankle. That is dangerous. That is dirty.
So that was last night. This was today. Brzezinski hit by a pitch. All right, maybe it's even. Well, maybe it's not, as we fast forward to the bottom of this inning. Quintana throwing at Zobrist, and Wegner putting it into it. Did you see the expression on Ben's face? That's the most priceless part of all of this. Look at this. That's priceless. So Nate Jones will be the new pitcher. Quintana ejected. There is a way to slide hard into second base, and then there's another way to try to maybe injure someone and potentially end a career. And slide hard all day long. That's part of the game.
And even so, you know, he's got a reputation, and you know the foot goes right into the ankle on the fly. It looks horrible. It was horrible. It's one thing to go in there to try to break up a potential double play. It's another to have zero court awareness and go right after a guy's ankle.
So Nate Jones becomes the new pitcher. He inherits the 1-0 count. Fastball is outside. 2-0.
And you know what? Even if there was no malintent, it doesn't matter. It looks terrible, and it's coming from a guy who's got a reputation.
Zobrist lifts a high popper short right. Rios is there to make the catch. That ends the game, or ends the inning. We go to the top half of the fifth. 3-1 White Sox. Second here in this inning, and before we get underway, Paul Harker's headed to the mound to take a look at Alex Cobb. Not sure what happened. I think Cobb's saying he's all right. Joe Madden's going to come out and get involved in this conversation. Let's take a look at this warm-up pitch here. Well, he's going to take another warm-up toss or two, saying that he was all right, so he's going to stay in the game. It's a 3-1 contest right now. Brzezinski has been the center of attention in some controversial plays before. How about this one in the 08 season in Chicago when he managed to get an interference call against the Rays? Doug Eddings missed this call and watched the wing right there, and he pushed Ibar with the elbow and then fell to feign falling, and the umpires fell for it that day. Alex Rios had a curveball missed up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. The difference being that a curveball. The chopper down to third. Well, Sutton's throw to first in time. So Rios is retired. And that will bring up AJ Pierzynski. Pierzynski 0 for 1, hit by a pitch in the third, and he scored a run.
So do we go down the hallway if this goes down, or how do we handle it?
Yeah, you got somebody you'd like to square off with?
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know if that's how you do it or what.
There's a pitch to Brzezinski. That's a strike.
Or do we stay in here and become the voice of truth and reason?
That seems to suit our natures much better.
Speak for yourself.
1 ball and 1 strike. Chance for a growth moment. 1-1 the count. Brzezinski rolls it by the mound. Sean Rodriguez takes care of that. The toss to Pena. So a couple of ground balls, 2 up and 2 down.
Now that's going to be the charge here of Alex Cobb, is just to continue to go out there. His team's down 3-1. You're in the 5th inning. Worry about getting hitters out. Pitch, do your job, and hope that your offense can come back. But you got to keep them right here, not get caught up in the emotions of what's happening out there, and he obviously is not.
Ciedo up here. He's 2 for 2 and shoots one to deep right. Zobrist will go back, and that one's going to be off the wall. Zobrist plays the carom, and the throw into second is not in time. Ciedo is now 3 for 3. 2 singles, a double, and a run batted in this game. He has 6 consecutive hits in this series now.
I was going to say 3 for 4 last night coming into this game. In the last 6, he was 13 out of 25. You see him just wait back on that pitch and shoot it out into right center. Tremendous amount of power.
He went single home run last night. Single double today. It is Alexi Ramirez. Pitch is inside. 1-0. Ball, 1 strike. Puff foul. He'll be back and out of play. Takes the count to 1-2. Rick Odioso, our statistician, did some research and found that Alex is only the 5th player with the surname of Cobb in Major League history. Since Ty Cobb last played in the majors in 1928, only one other Cobb in Major League Baseball, and that was the pride of Pine Tops, North Carolina, Herb Cobb, who pitched 1 inning for the St. Louis Browns in 1929. And so as Ty Cobb goes, Brzezinski's approach to at least sliding was a little closer to Ty Cobb than the approach taken by Alex Cobb.
I was wondering how you were going to tie it all back in.
AJ made it easy. And a base hit into right. Luciano is going to score. Ramirez digs for 2, and he is safely in at second. That is going to make it 4-1. Second run batted in, and the second double for Alexei Ramirez today.
Well, I'll tell you what, this White Sox lineup, we've talked about it this entire series. I mean, just red hot. How many times have we seen Alexei Ramirez go down and get a ball below the zone? Now, this one up and away, not really up, but it's elevated away. Look how far up in the box, too. That tells you right now. He shoots that ball to right field. When you see a hitter up in the box like that, he's not worried about getting beat with your fastball. He trusts his hands enough to be able to get to it. And you move up in the box like that to take away, the off-speed pitch, a change-up, curveball, whatever it is that he wants to get before it breaks or before the sinking action. He shot that ball to right field, and White Sox extend.
Foul out of play, 2 strikes. It's 9 hits for Chicago. One and 2. Still a ball, 2 strikes, with the foul ball rolling back into the right. Lifted to the left side, short left. Joyce is there as Elliott Johnson backs away at the last moment. The run scores. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 4-1 Chicago. He's coming in to hit in the bottom of the 5th. Last year's Rookie of the Year is off to another hot start. On Friday, June 1st, the first 10,000 fans get a Jeremy Hellickson Rookie of the Year figurine presented by Tampa Bay Times. The Rays take on the Orioles as part of Friday Fest presented by Captain Morgan. Bottom of the 5th, Luke Scott leads it off. Then Sean Rodriguez and Drew Sutton. First pitch, and it's skied high, not overly deep into left center. Viciedo there to make the catch, and Luke Scott, who had homered in the 2nd inning, goes out to left to start the 5th here against Nate Jones. 26-year-old right-hander is in the game after the ejection of Jose Quintana for throwing at a Rays hitter. Jones out of the 2007 draft out of Northern Kentucky University.
No, that was pretty good.
Sean Rodriguez takes a strike.
A little low riding 97 miles an hour at the knees.
Well, that's a pretty good combination. Then throws him a slider, and that slider upper 80s.
You know, he's got almost that same arm angle as Chris Sale from the right side. Tall, lanky, comes out here, got the big fastball and that sweeping slider.
0-2 the count. And Rodriguez is quickly out on strikes. So the first strikeout for Jones. He's showing some very good stuff. Yeah. Drew Sutton turns around and bats from the left side. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, the Rays trying to take a look at Quintana and make an adjustment on him, and before they could, he's gone. And Jones now, there's a fly ball to center handled by Diaz, and it's a 1-2-3 5th on to the 6th. 4-1 Chicago. Chicago. Time for the Just for Men Auto Stop foolproof stat. You look at what the Rays bullpen has done in the month of May, leading the American League in ERA at 2.11. Just as the Rays count on their bullpen, you can count on Just for Men Auto Stop for foolproof results. And J.P. Howell will take over for Alex Cobb. Alex worked 5 innings And now Alejandro Diaza, the left-handed hitting outfielder, faces J.P. Howell, and the pitch is in there for a strike. th appearance for J.P. 0-2. Beckham next, and then Dunn. Four runs, all earned, charged to Cobb. 5 innings, 9 hits, 4 strikeouts and a walk, 91 pitches. JP throws this one into the dirt. Diaza asking for time. Has it granted? Two balls, 2 strikes. JP pitched an inning in last night's game. He followed Shields, working the 7th. That'll take the count full, 3-2.
Another good at bat here by Diaza. Working the count, not chasing balls out of his zone, at least not to this point.
And he walks him. Diaza aboard. Let's check in with Todd.
All right, guys, here we go on the World Tour. Murray's having a birthday in England. Ian says it's England's team, the Rays. We have Michael in Germany, Chris in Belgium, Adam in South Korea, Lucas and Joe in Austria. We have a viewer in Qatar, Netherlands, Ralph in Kuwait, Canada, Jonas and Daniel in Sweden. Not all of them want to know this, but we're getting a lot of questions about whether you think the ejection was justified and how is that different than the situation up in Boston.
Legitimate question right there. Here's Beckham. The pitch is upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. It's to the discretion of the umpire as to what he wants to do, how he wants to do it in that situation. If he deems that there was an actual attempt to hit a batter, and that was pretty obvious in this case, but so was the Franklin Morales case. I mean, there was a repeated attempt, one pitch after another, and after another, and nothing was done. So that's going to be at the discretion of the umpire. Runner goes, the pitch is a strike, and the throw will not be in time. Diaza has a stolen base. Here's the Boston situation at Fenway.
1 pitch behind him, and up and in. Actually came up and in twice. So there were 4 solid attempts at Luke Scott before he finally got him on a 3-1 count. No question what Franklin Morales was attempting to do there.
And this is today.
But you know what? You can make the case right there. I think that's pretty clear. It was intent. Same with that. And I think that's why the White Sox have a beef. Like, hey, listen, they threw at our guy. There was no question about that.
Yeah, the strike. Well, I think, you know, repeatedly you hear criticism of the umpires. Let them settle it. Well, I think in Wegner's mind, Brzezinski being hit settled it based on his slide into second base on Zobrist the night before. He's thinking it's settled. Okay, and if you leave it alone, fellas, we're good. But when it was so obvious as to the intent of Quintana, that's what I think Wegner would argue, that before this thing got out of hand, now you're gone, I'm going to settle it now. It's done. The turn, but no throws. The runner, Diaz, is back in at second base. And I think that would be his thinking. All right, give him some latitude. Maybe not in the same game the next day. It'll be settled. Fine. But when the White Sox continued to escalate it, that's when Wegner said, nope, it was going to be gone. Now the runner is hit by this toss, and Diaz rolls off the bag and gets back, but he is hurt. A pickoff play, and Diaz is in considerable pain. And boy, you hate to see that. You really hate to see that. And this could be more. His reaction, it seems to me that this would be more than just being hit by that ball. But maybe it's not. I mean, that's the kind of reaction you see when there's a tear, something like that. But I can't imagine that just being hit by a pickoff attempt would cause that.
Maybe looked like it got him right on the side of the knee. You know, sometimes it could get funky in those joints, but yeah, maybe it got him in the knee, because the reaction to it is considerable.
Well, the fact that he's up now is a very good sign. You're not always sure on the landing what happens, and if you tear something in there, but it would appear that the gist of that is from the reaction of being hit. So Diaz will leave. Lillibridge is going to run for him, and you hope that Diaz is all right. And the fact that he's walking off is a very good sign. So Lillibridge will run. Nobody out here in the sixth. It's a 2-2 count to Beckham. Pitch popping away. Now Molina recovers. Throw to third in time. Lillibridge is out of there trying to advance. Sutton put the tag on it.
Boy, nice pop there by Molina, going after that changeup that he was able to block. It bounced off to his left. Gets right after it, makes a nice accurate throw. And a great tag there by Drew.
Now the 3-2 hit on the ground to Drew Sutton. His throw to Carlos Pena. 2 gone. Base is empty now. 2 outs, and the hitter is going to be Adam Dunn. Dunn 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts. All of that was against Alex Cobb. Pitch is a strike. front. 0-2. Chicago scored a run in the first. The Rays got a run in the second. Chicago 2 in the third and 1 in the fifth. And a foul ball by Adam Dunn. Count is still 2 strikes. Kansas City batting in the 8th inning, leading Cleveland 5-3. Orioles play the Blue Jays tonight in Toronto. And there's strike 3 call. Dunn caught looking. Bottom of the 6th, coming 4-1 Chicago.
One in the bottom of the 6th inning. Well, today's game and all season long, Tires Plus will donate $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports and Fox Sports Florida.
Jose Molina talks it over with A.J. Przinsky at the plate before he hits here in the bottom of the 6th. Brent Lillibridge stays on to play center field. The Rays facing Nate Jones, hard throwing right-hander, as we've found out. Swing and a miss on that high fastball at 96.
A pretty deadly combination of pitches we've seen here from Jones. That fastball, 96, 97, the slider in the upper 80s. Good sweeping action. It's got some size to it.
Everything comes out of that high delivery as well. A little bit like Justin Masterson with Cleveland, formerly the Red Sox. He gives you that kind of delivery, and if anything, Jones accentuates it.
Yeah, I mean, he powers right through it because Masterson's one of the best sinker ballers in the game. So he comes out there and sinks it. Masterson blows you away with it.
High foul up the right side. It's going to be out of play.
Excuse me, Jones. And he does. He's got a good arm, and that's not, it cannot be an easy arm angle for right-handed hitters to be able to stand in on, much like we talked about the similarities with Sale and how tough he is on lefties. We saw that the other day.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball sharply hit through the hole. Molina got around on the fastball and hit it in between short and third. That's the second hit of the ball game for the Rays.
Well, here it is. Just turn it up quick on 97.
Now Hideki Matsui will come off the bench here. Going to hit for Elliott Johnson. So the Rays will go to the bench here. Matsui, who collected a home run in his second at bat last night in his Rays debut, will be called upon. He jumped on the first pitch he saw in the fourth inning. The Rays looking for perhaps a quick strike here in the bottom of the sixth inning of this game. Swing and a miss. He was after that first pitch fastball. Came in at 96. Matsui just joining the team yesterday. Very high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nate Jones, the rookie right-hander. Used out of the bullpen and closed for Birmingham in the minor leagues last year. Foul ball right back, another fastball at 95. So it's 1-2. $174 career home runs in the major leagues to go with 332 in Japan. 506 home runs collected by Matsui. Now it's 2-2. Rays could use a long one to get right back in this thing. Down by 3 runs, 4-1, and Joe Madden with Matsui on his bench and with a man on here, taking a shot. There's ball 3. The count is full.
And then on deck you've got Pena, then Upton, then you go right back to Joyce. You're probably going to stick with Jones here, so you get some left-handed thump on its way to the plate, and you're only down 3 runs. I mean, that's not the end of the world. Come back from that.
Three-2, and strike 3 called at the knees. Jones gets a big strikeout of Matsui on that 3-2 pitch.
Now, it just caught him by surprise because this ball's all over the plate. Actually, it's right down the middle. And just caught Matsui frozen.
Here's Carlos Pena. Carlos, nothing of 2 on the day. Cut and a miss on a changeup there. He was out in front. You're trying to gear up for that 95 to 97, and he drops that on you. That's Matt Thornton, the lefty, busy in the bullpen for Chicago. And a long one, deep to right. Rios will go to the wall. Gone! Home run on a fastball. Carlos Pena hits it out, and just like that, it's a 1-run ball game. Well, Pena connects for the 8th time this year. With Molina scoring in front of him, it's now 4-3.
Now, all over that fastball, out in front of the changeup. He never gets off the heater. Boy, he stays back with tremendous lift. And he draws the Rays to within 1.
Well, that's what Joe Madden was looking for. He took a shot with the pinch hitter Matsui, and Pena delivers. Scott and Pena have homered in this game. B.J. Upton takes that slider in for a strike. B.J. 0 for 2 today. And a swing and a miss at that one. 0-2. Another slider and a dandy. And Upton is out on strikes. 3 sliders. And that's out number 2.
Well, he throws that pitch so hard and he's able to keep it in a good spot down and away from the righty. That's just tough. It's a tough AB. That pitch starts and where it ends up.
Yeah. Now pitching change. Nate Jones will depart in favor of the lefty, and we'll be back in a moment. Martin's going to be the new pitcher. The left-hander on to face Matt Joyce. Well, Matt has said all along that he'd like to see more left-handed pitching. He's going to see a tough one right now, but you can see what he's done for most of the month of May against lefties. He's making a strong case for himself. Takes the pitch for a ball. Look at those numbers. Since the 6th of May, 350 against lefties. And a little pop-up here is going to carry out a play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two balls and a strike. There's a shot toward the corner and right. Well hit. And that ball is foul. Well, Matt Joyce got around on the fastball and just pulled it foul, making a bid for at least an extra base hit.
Well, at this point, if you're a left-handed pitcher facing Matt Joyce, you want to go away, the ball, you'd better get it away. You leave it out over the plate, especially middle in. He's shown the ability to get to that. That's how close it was. At least a double. Maybe more.
Count is 2-2. And strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. So that retires the side. Joyce and Wegner exchange words. We're headed into the 7th. It's a 1-run game on the 2-run homer by Pena, 4-3 Chicago. Game. Matt Joyce called out on strikes to end the Rays' 6th.
Well, there was the pitch. It looked like a little slider. Check the overhead view. You could see that ball does cross the outside corner. It looked like Mark Wegner had it right.
And as we move into the 7th, Matt Joyce will find himself in right field as Wade Davis takes over. Third pitcher of the day, Cobb, Howell, and Wade. Number of defensive changes made by the Rays. Joyce in right, Matsui's in left. Zobrist moves in to play second, and Sean Rodriguez takes over at shortstop. Paul Konerko leads off the 7th inning against Wade Davis. Pitch is a strike. One scoreless inning for J.P. Howell. He picked up a strikeout, gave up a walk. A broken bat ground ball right to Sean Rodriguez. Konerko is the first out in the 7th. Wade Davis worked 2 innings in the game Monday. Gave up 1 hit, 1 intentional walk. Picked up a strikeout, no runs. And Alex Rios fouls it out of play. Rios singled in a run in the first. He doubled and scored in the 3rd. And not much good fortune against Wade Davis in this one-on-one matchup. Grounded out his last time in the 5th. All of that against Alex Cobb today. And it's a 1-1 count. Cleveland bats in the bottom of the 8th, trailing Kansas City 6-3. The 1-1. It's 2 balls and a strike. Wade Davis has given the Rays something that most clubs do not have out of that bullpen. Ground ball back to the hill. And the throw to first. Davis to Pena. 2 up and 2 down. Get in on the action with exclusive on-field seating in the Papa John's bullpen box. Available dates are going fast, so act now to make your group reservation behind the Rays bullpen by calling 855-GROUP-TB or online at raysbaseball.com. Bases empty with 2 gone for A.J. Pierzynski. Pierzynski 0 for 2, hit by the pitch in the 3rd when he scored. The pitch is high. There was no warning given at that point. The warning came in the 4th inning after the ejection of Quintana, and with him went Robin Ventura. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foul out of play, and it's 1-2. A part of Molina. Ball fouled off Pierzynski's bat, and Molina being assisted by Paul Harker. Another reason that catching job does not have all that great appeal to most people.
Oh, got him right above the shin guard. By that knee area, with it on the right leg. Yep, just above the padding. Ooh.
Well, Molina shaking that one off. It's just not a lot of fun.
No. And, you know, that leg is flexed like that, so everything's tight and it, straight down, unprotected.
1-2 into the dirt. So then block this pitch on the next one. It's pretty thankless at times. 2 balls, 2 strikes here on the Chicago catcher, A.J. Pierzynski. And again, this foul ball. And Molina still hobbled back there. I'm telling you.
Well, I think that foul ball got a piece of him in the left arm.
Yes, it did.
My goodness. Watch this. Right off the left elbow. I mean, are you kidding me?
So the right leg, the left elbow. I mean, you can't win for losing. Brzezinski fouls this one back up over the screen, and you could certainly excuse Molina if he ducked immediately. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Brzezinski finally out on strikes on a slider to retire the side. Bottom of the 7th coming. 4-3 Chicago.
Sox lead the Rays 4-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Now, lots of scary hitters in the American League. So for tonight's Ottaway text poll question, we want to know who are the most underrated sluggers in the AL this season. Now, you can only pick one. TB1 for Edwin and Carson On. Then we've got TB2 for Adam Jones, TB3 for Curtis Granderson, TB4 for Reddick, and TB5 for Paul Konerko. Dwayne?
All right, thank you very much. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and the Rays wouldn't mind a little slugging going on here in this frame. Down 4-3. They have Zobrist, Scott, and Rodriguez due up. 1 strike the count to Ben. And a chopper to the left side. Hudson loves and throws, and Zobrist is out number 1 here in the 7th with Matt Thornton on the hill. Luke Scott will bat. Luke homered off the left-hander Quintana in the 2nd inning. His 9th home run of the year.
And he's just making it more difficult to pitch to him, because if you want to go away and stay away, it better be down, because if it's elevated, he's shown that pop, and of course we know that he can turn on a ball that's in.
Want to know the count. Here's the home run. Home run prior to that came off Drew Hutchison, the Toronto right-hander, and he took that one the other way. 2-0. A lot of clubs play him to pull and some shift on him. But we were talking about that the other day. Not surprising to see him hit the ball out once in a while the other way.
Now, see, he's able to get that bat head going quickly, so he can let that ball travel. He's got less, room to work with, but he gets it going quick, and then he's got great finish going that way. He really gets extended well, and when he catches it right, we've seen that ball. It just jumped. That home run earlier today jumped off his bat.
Fastball by him and takes the count to 2-2. He has great upper body strength, and that contributes to some quickness. 2-2. And he is called out on strikes on a pitch that he thinks was wide. That slider again from Matt Thornton. 2 outs.
Well, hitters talk, and Matt Joyce went back and talked about that slider and how he thought it was off the plate. We saw the overhead view that showed that that pitch actually caught the plate. Let's see about this one. Yeah, the same pitch. That's a good pitch. You want that for your guys.
Yep, just the front side of that plate, that corner. So 2 up, 2 down in the 7th. White Sox will make a pitching change now with Sean Rodriguez due. Back in a moment. In a 4-3 ball game, Jesse Crane's going to be the new pitcher, the 4th of the day for the White Sox.
He's on for the 14th time, no record, a very good ERA, 16 strikeouts and 13 innings of work, and a very strong 170 average against.
And Sean Rodriguez will bat against him. Crane was in the game here on Monday. The pitch is high. 1 ball, no strikes. Crane came on in the 8th inning of that game to face Sean Rodriguez, who hit a fly ball to right center, caught by the center fielder Diasa at the time. And that's a strike. It's 1-1. Check swing and a little nubber. Crane off the hill, and his throw to first is in time to retire the side. 1, 2, 3. So we head into the 8th. 4-3 Chicago.
June 3rd when the Rays take on the Orioles as part of Family Fun Day presented by the Tampa Bay Times. And the first 10,000 kids 14 and under get this Desmond Jennings bobblehead. Des?
Well, we go to the 8th inning, and Burke Badenhop is the new pitcher for the Rays, their 4th of the day. He follows Cobb, Howell, and Davis. And Viciedo is the hitter. And the first pitch to Viciedo is a strike. So 1 inning for Wade Davis. He picked up a strikeout. Cobb for 5, Howell for 1, Davis for 1. Viciedo has been red hot, and Badenhop is ahead of him, 2 strikes. Single in the 2nd, a single, a run batted in the 3rd, a double and a run scored in the 5th. He's been on base with 6 consecutive hits in the last 2 games. That slider is wide, says Mark Wegner, and it's 1-2. Ground ball, and right there is Carlos Pena, who steps on the bag. 1 away.
Perfect positioning. And Ben Zobrist pulled up the middle. Carlos Pena had that whole area basically to himself, and that ball was hit hard, right at it.
Alexi Ramirez. Pitch sweeps wide. 1 ball, no strikes. A couple of runs batted in for the White Sox shortstop. Line drive, and that one is grabbed by Ben Zobrist. Well, Ramirez hit the ball sharply, and Ben, quickly ranging to his left, made the grab. Ramirez hit that ball hard.
Well, here's a good shot of it off the bat, right where Ben Zobrist is. On a 1.5 step and stick the glove up. A little tumble, 2 outs.
Orlando Hudson popping one into shallow left. Matsui is there and makes the catch. A quick 1-2-3 8th. We go to the home half of the inning. 4-3 Chicago. Against the White Sox, they come in red hot, or in their case maybe white hot. They have really been mixing it up over in the Central Division, and they've taken over, leading by a half game, a 7-game winning streak. Their bats have been very good, and their pitching has been good. We've seen some strong arms in this series, including Jesse Crain, who's in there in relief right now. He's back and healthy. And Drew Sutton will lead off the bottom of the 8th. Rays with 2 shots left. They made it a 1-run game on the Pena home run in the 6th. Sutton started to go, but he checked. That's ball 1. Molina due next, and then Matsui. Sutton a little late on the fastball there, fouled it. 1-1. One and two.
When you see that slider by Crain, it's very short. Not a huge sweeping slider like we saw from Jones. Very hard, and I mean, very little movement, but enough of a change of pace. He gets it under the swing of Sutton.
Still a ball and 2 strikes the count. White Sox have more action in their bullpen. It's Will Oman, the left-hander. And Sutton is out on strikes. 8 strikeouts for Chicago pitching in this game.
Well, here it is. Crain with a changeup, and he keeps that ball right in the middle of the plate. You know, you've got to respect his fastball in the mid-90s, the good slider, and then all of a sudden he comes with that changeup. And I'm going to tell you, when you're able to throw that pitch out over the white and get the swing and a miss, it's a pretty nasty pitch.
Now Jose Molina fouls it back. Fouled a slider. The slider was up a bit. Molina had a base hit and a run scored. He scored on Pena's 6th inning home run. And 2, slider again. Rays trying to avoid being swept by the White Sox. One and 2. A curveball there. We've seen fastball, slider, a changeup, and a curveball. Ground ball. The shortstop Ramirez makes the play, and Molina is out number 2. Two gone, and Hideki Matsui, who entered the game as a pinch hitter in the 6th, took a 3-2 fastball for a called 3rd strike, the pitch at the knees. So he bats again here in the 8th.
On the White Sox with Will Oman down in the bullpen. He's looking in, see if he gets the call, or they let Jesse Crain go. I like this matchup for the Rays.
Well, here's Matsui. Anytime he's up there in a 1-run game, the Rays have the potential tying run in scoring position in the batter's box. 1-0 the count.
Well, I thought for sure with Omen getting ready down there that's exactly what he was getting ready for, was Matsui.
And a fly ball back into center field. Lillibridge will go back to the track, and he makes the catch. Matsui hit it toward the deepest part of the yard, caught by Lillibridge. Still a 1-run game. Been brought to you by 5-Hour Energy. 5-Hour Energy fixes tired fast. And by the 2012 GMC Sierra. It's our best Sierra ever. Kirk Badenhop worked the perfect 8th inning. He's out there to start the 9th. It will be the top of the Chicago order. Brent Lillibridge to lead it off. And the pitch to him is down. Lillibridge took over in the 6th inning to run for Diaz. A big cut, a foul ball, trickled down the third base side. 1-1. Two and one. Ground ball. Diving stop by Rodriguez. No chance to throw out Lillibridge. And a base hit. So Lillibridge has himself a single to start the 9th.
Now Lillibridge can get up the line. Sean Rodriguez with a nice dive to his left on that hard hit ground ball.
Well, that's hit number 10. The White Sox came into this game collecting double-figure games in 11 of their last 13 coming into this series. They were held to 5 hits in the first game, but they had 11 last night, and now they have 10 today. So another double-digit hit game for this White Sox ball club. That's extended beyond 2 weeks now. One strike to count on Beckham. White Sox trying to get Lillibridge into scoring position. And a move to first. Beckham was showing bunt at the plate. And the bunt attempt. Pena's not going to have a play. Pena had an outside shot at catching that one in the air, and then when he failed to do that, had to play it on the short hop and could not field it cleanly.
Well, here it is. Beckham's going to pop this bunt up. Here comes Carlos. He's going to make a bid. He sells out for it there, and then it actually whiffs the glove and off the right leg. Everybody safe.
So it was intended to be a sacrifice. They're going to score at a base hit on the bunt. So it's first and second now, and the Rays are going to make a pitching change with Adam Dunn due up. That's going to be it for Baden Hopp, and we'll be back in a moment. Inning, unable to at least get one out on the sacrifice attempt. So Beckham's at first, Lillibridge at second, and Joel Peralta on to face the left-handed bat of Adam Dunn. Joe Madden so often refers to Peralta as his right-handed lefty to face up against left-handed hitting. So that's the situation here with big Adam Dunn in the batter's box. The pitch is a strike at the knees.
I think that's just one of those things that Joe Madden says so that he can get him into every game.
Yeah, it really does seem that if he's not in every game, he's at least throwing in the bullpen in every game.
It absolutely does.
A one-strike count. He tried to backdoor that one, a curveball. And it's 1-1. You see, he's 167 against lefties this year and 243 against righties.
So there is something to it then.
Those are the numbers. Numbers don't lie. Only those who use them have that opportunity. The pitch is a strike. And it's now 1-2.
Oh, great location there. There's nothing that Adam Dunn could have done with that pitch. Not anything productive on his side. Beautiful.
Swing and a miss. He had him out in front. And a nice job of pitching Adam Dunn right there by Peralta.
Now working away with quality. And there. Way out in front. Adam Dunn goes out to get that. And ball tracking off the plate. Swing and a miss.
That's the first out. Here's Paul Konerko. Peralta's going to have to wade right through the middle part of the Chicago lineup. The pitch is a strike on the outside corner.
Well, location-wise, Peralta's locked in right now. Great location on the pitches to Dunn. That fastball in a great spot.
One ball, one strike. Men at first and second. Well, the White Sox, they've left 8 men on base today. The Rays haven't left anybody on base. They have a shot left in the bottom of the ninth, and Peralta's trying to keep it a one-run game. Pretty close right there as Konerko takes the breaking ball. It's 2-1.
Boy, he went out after that. Got a good look at it. Leaves it go. It looked like some of those similar lefty breaking balls that the White Sox have gotten the call.
You would hope that maybe that caught the front part of the plate. Turn, nothing doing back at second. Willebridge diving back toward the bag. The 2-1. Got it in, and he pops it up. Konerko does. On the infield pop, Rodriguez takes care of the formality. Got out there to make the grab. So 2 gone. Well, the hitter is Alex Rios. Willebridge at second and Beckham at first. Dunn struck out against Peralta, and then Konerko with the pop out. The strikeout of Dunn, the 4th time he has struck out today. It's the 13th time he's struck out 4 times in a game. He struck out 5 times at Arizona back in 2002. Well, here's Rios. He has a single and a double. A run scored and a run batted in. 2 for 4 on the day. And the first pitch is a strike. Cobb worked 5, Howell 1, Davis 1, Badenhop an inning plus. 2 hitters here in the 9th. Peralta 2/3 of an inning right now. And he has the count running in his favor. 0-1 to Alex Rios. It's 1-1. Kansas City has beaten Cleveland 6-3. The Orioles play tonight in Toronto. 1-1 count. Fly ball, right center field. Joyce is there, and a great job by Joel Peralta. He gets done. Canerco and Rios leaving 2 men on. The Rays will have Pena, Upton, and Joyce due up, down 4-3.
And may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, the Rays need 1 to keep it going and 2 to win it. It's 4-3 as they come into hit in the bottom of the 9th inning. Joe Madden checking that lineup card. He'll have the top of his lineup. Pena, Upton, and Joyce due up here against Addison Reed. Reed, the young hard-throwing right-hander, came on to close it out here on Monday when he got Zobrist, Joyce, and Scott 1-2-3 to preserve a 2-1 victory. Carlos Pena made it a 1-run game with a 2-run blast in the 6th.
Now he's going to face similar stuff here. Power fastball by Reed. Top of the order. Here we go. Need 1.
So Pena, that home run in the 6th, is 1 hit today. The Rays have 3 runs, 3 hits. 2 of those hits home runs. The pitch is outside. Reed with that fastball at 94, and he also has a very good slider. Pitch is down and in, 2-0. Rays Live, the post game, coming your way immediately following our game coverage. Brought to you by Checkers. Two and 0 the count. 3 balls, no strikes. Carlos taking 3-1.
Well, that's okay. You take that strike right there and not be ready to hit. You're probably going to get something similar. Carlos is going to sell out on the fastball here, and if he gets it in his zone, he's He's going to try to lose it.
The 3-1. And it's high for ball 4. And the leadoff guy is on via the walk. So the first walk of the day given up by Chicago pitching. Now we'll get a pinch runner at first for Carlos Pena. Rich Thompson with great speed is the guy at first. B.J. Upton will be the hitter.
37.8.
There you go.
There's your percent chance.
Get him to second, and that'll increase it. Thompson with a lead. And he's back in. So Pena drew the walk. Thompson now runs.
How about B.J. Upton just end it right here?
Yeah, one swing, that'd be great. There goes Thompson. The pitch is popped up. That's a foul ball coming straight back and out of play.
You saw Addison Reed there really cut down on his leg kick, go with more of a slide step, and Rich Thompson was off and running.
Another one of these one-run games. The Rays 12-5 in one-run games. Down by 1 at the moment. And the fastball is outside. 1-1. Reed, a third-round pick in the June 2010 draft. There goes the runner. Good jump, and the pitch is foul back. That's out of play. Thompson had a very good jump on that one. Over to first. Thompson back in there. Reed's ascension to the big leagues was a quick one. He was drafted out of San Diego State. Pitched 30 innings in 2010 in the minor leagues. Started last year at the A level and zoomed right to the big leagues. Pitch popped up. Right side, Dunn is after it. Beckham out there as well, and Dunn makes the catch. Upton fouls out to the first baseman. One out with Thompson still at first base.
Here you're going to see it again. Rich Thompson off to the races at some point here in the first couple of pitches of this at bat. Got to try to get him out into scoring position. Base hit can tie it.
So here is Matt Joyce. Matt looking for his first hit. And the strike. Joyce pinch hit on Monday against Reed. Hit the fly ball to right. And a line shot, base hit into right. Thompson makes the turn. He's going to hang on at second base. The ball hit so sharply that Thompson did not have an opportunity to do anything except make the turn and then get back there quickly. Rios charged the ball in right. And it's first and second here with one out in the ninth.
Here it is. This fastball, they want it in. It ends up away. Matt Joyce gets good extension and just rifles this ball. Here's Rich Thompson, going to be aggressive with the turn. But you better get back here. That throw is coming in hot behind you.
Ben Zobrist due up. Reed will get a visit. Reed groomed as a reliever. He made a couple starts when he signed 2 starts out of 13 total appearances in Great Falls after he was drafted in 2010. He closed games at San Diego State. And the White Sox asking him to close now at the major league level. San Diego State producing some good arms, aren't they?
Yes, they do. Reed, Steven Strasburg came out that year.
And here is Ben Zobrist. Ben sends a popper into short left. Ramirez out there. And on the infield pop, Zobrist is out. Well, it's going to come down to Luke Scott. Luke faced Reed here on Monday as a pinch hitter and grounded out to second. Luke opened the scoring for the Rays back in the second inning today when he hit the home run. Two men aboard with 2 men out. And it's Scott against Reed. The pitch is foul back, a fastball, strike one. Reed hitting 95. That's his high water mark here in the 9th inning of this game. Rays battling right down to their final out. Trying to avoid the sweep. And a popper left side, angling out Ramirez from short. Luciano there, and it's Ramirez who makes the catch with a lot of that baseball showing in the mitt, but he hangs on to end this one. And the White Sox have beaten the Rays today. It's a 4-3 final. Jones will get the win. A save for Reed. Cobb, the losing pitcher. For Brian Anderson and Todd Callis, hope you've enjoyed the telecast, if not the outcome. Chicago 4, the Rays 3. We'll see you next on Rays Live, the postgame.